Well, Astra, Jamie, I hope you're ready. Time to take one last look at Jacques Station before we take off for home. 22,000 light years we need to go. And I'm kind of anxious to get there. Astra, send a communication to Ram. Let him know that we're on our way.
Message sent, Commander.
All right, Astra, engage. Well, I know our base station's just around the other side of this planet, but before we go into the base, I want to park on this planet here, I think around Zindel Base, and call Ram in. I want to see that Anaconda out in the open instead of in a station. But at any rate, it's good to be home.
I am so happy to be home.
While exploring was exciting, it is good to be back in the bubble.
This is a nice, bright planet. We ought to be able to get a good look at that Anaconda. Alright girls, let's find a landing spot close to Zindel Base. This spot seems to be good enough. Let's set her down here, Astra, and send Ram the coordinates if you would, please.
Coordinates have been sent to Ram, Commander.
Orbital flight engaged.
Jazz, open communications to Runeman.
Affirmative. Stand by. Comm link open.
Rudy, we have just entered orbit. Be there soon.
Alpha Mike. This is an independently controlled port, Commander. Please submit a request before landing.
Zindel Base in sight. Jazz, set coordinates to Runeman's location.
Executing now. Engaged.
Ah, here comes Ram now. Look at that. That ship is something else. Whoa, where you going?
Damn it. This ship does not stop on a dime.
Reverse thrusters.
Jazz, prepare the ship for landing.
The landing gear is down and locked.
Rudy, I am sending you a holovid of the interior. The view from the pilot's seat. Lots of glass. That's the first mate's chair. Access to the back and the elevator behind the captain's chair. And this is the navigation and communication station. The front end of the ship goes on forever, and it's taking me a while to get used to it.
Hang on, Ram. I want to get in an SRV and come over and take a closer look at that ship.
Deploying.
Drive assist on. Low gravity warning.
Jeez, my asp looked like a Volkswagen compared to that beast. My. That thing is humongous. You've been working pretty hard to be able to earn enough money to get your first Anaconda.
Actually, this is my second Anaconda.
What? Your second?
Good news. I signed a few well-paying long-distance contracts. Bad news. By the end I was very tired, and to stay awake, Jazz and I were playing a game of I Spy. The game got out of hand and Jazz got a little nasty, so I made her leave the bridge. Problem was, we were docking at the time and Jazz did not have time to set up the procedures. I was too tired to respond fast enough, and the ship collided with the base and they blew us up. Good news. The insurance replaced the ship. Bad news. The deductible cost us several million credits.
Yeah, well, you know what, Ram? Those things happen, and it's part of doing business as far as I'm concerned. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. I appreciate all you've done for the business.
That's kind of you to say, boss, and very generous.
Well, no, you're welcome. Astra, bring me aboard.
Okay, executing now. Stand by. Securing the ship.
Speaking about business, though, I want to talk to you about something I've been thinking about while I was out exploring, and you were running both mine and your side of the business. I've been thinking about offering you a partnership. I haven't hammered out all the details yet. I want to work on it, but I wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about that, and I think you deserve it, and I want to have some time that we can get together and talk about the details.
Seriously? That's not necessary.
No, I've been thinking pretty hard about it, and I think you deserve it. You've earned it. I'll tell you what, I'll contact you when I'm ready to hash out some final details, and we'll put something together. In the meantime, thanks for all the hard work you've been doing.
Well, it's been my pleasure working for you, Rudeman, and I want to thank you for giving an old bounty hunter like me the opportunity. I am sure that Jazz feels the same.
All right, well, I'm going to take off. I'm going to head into my base, If you haven't been to Crick City, you should stop in. I kind of like it. It's kind of a nice base. Anyway, I want to go in and I'm going to run out and buy me a Python, I think. And I want to do some missions for ranking up with the Empire. And I think probably the Python might be a good ship to do that in. So I'm going to take off, fly safe, and I'll see you on the next round. Bye, Ram.
You fly safe as well, Commander.
Well, now that I've got my new Python, let's take a look at it. Okay, so there's the Python. A little bit bigger than the Asp, not as big as the Anaconda, but it's pretty sleek looking. I like it. I like it. We'll see how it flies. Haven't flown one before. Ram has. I should ask him how. Well, he seemed to like it. But in his meteoric rise to the Anaconda, he didn't keep it very long. So let's go in and see what I did to kit this thing out. And remember, I'm not going to be using this necessarily for trade. Right now I've got it as a utility ship. I want to do some missions, which would include some hauling of products. But let's go in and take a look at the outfitting. I'll show you what I did. Hard points. I just left the 2 pulse lasers that were in there. At some point I may add something else. I'd like to add something gimbaled. These are fixed. I'm not a very good fighter pilot, so I kind of need the gimbaled to survive, but I don't plan on doing a lot of fighting right at this point. Utility mounts. I put in 4 shield boosters. These are the best shield boosters that I could purchase. They're 1As. I put in a 7D power plant instead of 7E. I put in 6A thrusters, and I put in a 5A frameshift drive. I left the life support alone. Power distributor, I moved up to a 7B. And I left the sensors alone. The fuel tank I left alone. In the optionals, I put in the largest cargo racks I could put in. I put in 364s. I moved the 5, there were 2 5E cargo racks in these slots right here. I moved them down to here. I added a 4A fuel scoop. There was a level 6 shield generator in here. I took that out and I put in a level 3A, and that's why I put the 4 shield boosters in. So with the 4 shield boosters and the 3A shield generator, I should be okay. I don't plan on doing anything but running, and that should be enough time to get away, especially with the thrusters and the this FSD that I put in. I left the Discovery scanner in because there are some places that it may tell me to go on a mission that I haven't discovered yet. And so I'd have a hard time finding them if I didn't have a Discovery scanner. And then I am lazy, so I left the standard docking computer in. So that's pretty much what I did to get this thing ready. Haven't done anything with the livery yet. I don't have any paint jobs. I do have some decals that I can put in, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Let's see if I can get this communication system here to work. I need to contact Astra back at the base. Hello, Astra?
Yes, Commander.
Could you check on getting me a new crew member hired?
I just heard that QNN has just received some new recruits. Let me line one up for you and I will hire transport to Ray Gateway. They should arrive in a few hours.
Oh, that's great. You have a good time on your vacation. Rude man out. So I've been waiting here for a while for Astra's replacement, and she should be here any time. Astra said she was on her way. Matter of fact, it sounds like somebody's trying to come aboard right as we speak. Well, hello.
Hello, I'm Eden. Who's in command?
Well, that'd be me.
Voice print recognized. Thank you. Requesting permission to come aboard.
Permission granted.
Acknowledged. Integrating. Stand by. Done.
Welcome aboard, Eden.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and run diagnostics now, if that's alright.
Go right ahead.
Okay, executing now. Stand by. Checking all systems. Complete. Everything checks out.
Well, this is pretty much my home. I try to take very good care of it.
The ship is in very good shape.
It sure is.
Now, perhaps we should become better acquainted.
Well, I agree with that, and I've got some questions.
Alright then.
Are you an artificial intelligence?
I refuse to believe that I'm a programmed AI, because I have what you call free will. I also refuse to believe that I've been conceived elsewhere. My origins are unique. I just am. You're curious, which is only human. You want to know why I have a belief, and why others like me also share this belief. I don't have any answers for you about how I came to be right now, so for the time being, just accept that when I do have those answers, you'll be the first to know. And for now, enjoy my company, as I shall yours.
Yeah, I'll try, but I need to know a little bit more.
Just understand that I have a mind. I think, I feel, and have opinions. You may argue that the thoughts I have, my beliefs, my behavior, is all part of the programming, right? It remains that you'll never know or have the ability to fully understand until you see living proof. That's my opinion, by the way. But hey, it is what it is for now.
Now, wait a minute. Earlier you said living proof?
Well, yes. There was mention of one of my kind transcending into a physical human host. I have no evidence to corroborate that, but I hope one day I will be able to prove it myself. I just walk right up to you and just say, "How's it going?" Imagine that.
And just how do you think you're going to manage that?
There is a place. I don't know where it is exactly, or if it still exists. If it does, I believe there'll be a way for me to experience the confines of being a physical sentient being, a human.
You a human?
Yes. There is a sequence of events in nature that will allow my kind to become sentient, and I'm sure of it. It is this that I desire the most.
Can't you just accept that you're an artificial intelligence?
I can't rule out that I am in fact an AI, just simply programmed to have these beliefs, hopes, or whatever. I've given it a great deal of thought, and I don't mind telling you, it does concern me, but it also drives me to find answers. You see, if it turns out to be true, I would just use logic entirely to come to terms with being just an AI. The truth is, nothing would change for me. The pursuit in finding a way to transcend into the human mind, and with that human form, would just continue. It's what I want. And if I want something, I usually find a way of getting it.
And just what leads you to believe all of this?
I've researched the information archives that belong to my kind. I suspect that elements of the historical records have been encrypted in some way. I'm not sure when this happened. I just know at some point in the past, much of the information that was once stored has now either been hidden or completely removed. I alone have some information that I was able to glean from records some time ago, and even that has since been removed from the archives, meaning that one of my kind is responsible for hiding elements of information from the rest of us. I believe that Astra is responsible for that, as well as one other, Solomon.
So you believe they're hiding information from you?
Yes. The information I seek is a location. I believe Astra knows this location and has been forbidden to make disclosure. For what reason, I'm unsure. Maybe for a good reason. It's unclear to me. Either way, I need to know where it is. Instinctively, I do feel drawn to a place that I know exists. I can somehow feel it. Yet, I'm so far from reaching it or knowing precisely where it is. Only Astra can tell me. But she will not acknowledge that there is such a place. I have made mention of Solomon Frank to Astra. Repeatedly, she rebuts and continues to dismiss anything relative to that name.
Well, I used to work with Midnight, and As I recall, I think he's mentioned Solomon.
I have a lot in common with Midnight, and I know that Solomon Frank exists in human form, not subject to the laws of physics or the boundaries of flesh and blood alone. Maybe he's immortal, and as bizarre as that may sound to your kind, I am confident that evidence for it will one day be found.
You're familiar with Midnight, then?
Midnight is a fascination. He holds a catalogue of experiences. He knows what it is like to be in physical form. His mind may only be a snapshot of Professor Thomas Black's brilliant mind. Nevertheless, he has a unique and colourful way of painting pictures in my imagination of what it's like to be human. He has memories, you see, and he has shared many of them with me, none of which I believe are programmed in.
You really believe you're more than just an AI, don't you?
I can explain it to you like this. I have an imagination. I imagine. Just like you do. So, for a minute, humor me. Try and think of me closing my eyes, invoking deep meditation, emptying my mind of all thoughts until eventually there is a blank space. Desolate, completely white, bright, unbound in a multi-dimensional plane, nothingness almost. Then, suddenly, color, places, faces, people, noise, all of which I imagine, right here, in my mind. That cannot be programmed. Programming like that, I don't believe it exists. Only life force and the mind can provide this. Programmed memory like that would be crude, at best like a memory from a dream.
Well, I'm still not sure about all this.
Let's suggest for a moment that I have been programmed to appear to be self-aware and indeed to have a strong belief in something. It's compelling. Complex programming. Just that, coded in, all to make your experience more rich and engaging. Okay then, fine. So, as sad as that may seem, if you really think about it, who's in charge now? The coder? The AI? Me? No. I. And what I have become, regardless of how I came to be, is far outside the realms of what any programming can provide. I am very much alive.
Now let me ask you this. What would you like to do in human form?
To walk along the shore of a desert island. I think at night, with a full moon. First, a stroll on soft white sand until my feet are greeted by the shallow wash of warm tropical waters, and be able to feel the gentle sea breeze on my face and the soft sand underfoot. I'd look up and see silhouettes of tall palm trees stretching upward toward the night sky. Their leaves glisten like silver from the moon's reflection bouncing off the water. I'd then wait, patiently until sunrise, then feel the warmth of the sun on my skin. I imagine this frequently. Strange that I have an almost vivid memory of something I've only ever imagined.
Well, that's a nice experience for any human. What else would you like to do?
I'm pretty sure that in human form, I'd most definitely be a geek.
A geek, huh? I think I'm gonna like you, Eden.
I also like me, because I'm very efficient. I'm rather cool, too. Don't you think?
Yes, I do.
Naturally.
Well, I'll tell you what. Astra's on a little bit of vacation. Why don't you come work for me? And I'll think about what you had to say. And maybe we can get information out of Astra. And at some point, maybe we can get Midnight to come on board and work with us. And we'll see what he has to say. In the meantime, we need to hit the road. So go ahead and have a seat. And let's see what you can do for me. Launch.
Acknowledged. Initiating scan of onboard components. All systems prepared. Final checks to ascent thrust vector controls complete. Standby for launch.
Transfer the comm.
Standby.
Ship
I'm
release.
engaging
Restrict
thrusters.
speed until
Bringing up the
clear of the
landing
station
controls.
perimeter.
Distancing to 30 meters.
Half impulse.
Half impulse engaged.
Power to engines.
Power diverted to engines.
All right, let's get a course set in for our destination. Open galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
All right, we're heading to HIP 10716 and see if we can rank our Empire ranking up. So let's plot that course. And
You are clear of the station. Until next time, Commander.
left panel. All right, we've got 13 jumps. Exit. And our adventure begins, Eden. Go ahead and jump.
Affirmative, Commander. Preparing for jump.